About a year ago, I pulled the factory seats out of this Mustang because every time I went through a corner, even though they have bolsters, I was still sliding all over the place. I put in these Corbeaus. Here it is, a year later. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think, whether I would do it again or not, and what you might think about before buying yourself a set. For we walk by faith, not by sight. So this is my 2001 Mustang Bullitt, and this is a stock seat from a 2001 Mustang Bullitt. Now you might say, hey, why isn't there a Corbeau seat up here? Isn't this video supposed to be about Corbeau seats? If we're going to have a Corbeau seat in the car, which we do, you need to understand why I replaced it. So to go over the car really quickly, in the front we have Maximum Motorsports coilovers. They're on 275-pound springs, which is soft for autocross and road course, but it's a pretty good road spring. I have Maximum Motorsports lower control arms and their caster camber plates. Now at some point in the not too distant future, I might swap over to their K-member, which moves the front wheels about 3/4 of an inch forward, and there's some other geometry changes there that improves the overall handling of the car. The rear of the car has H&R Super Sport springs, Maximum Motorsports control arms, and that's kind of it. There's not really much there. I do have some welded subframe connectors I need to put in place of the bolt-in subframe connectors, which basically don't do much of anything on these cars. And you can't see it, but in the very back there, I have a Corbo RRX that's going to go in here. It already has 373 gears in it. It's already got a bunch of better bushings. I'm putting some more bushings in it, and then it's going to go in the car. Should make this thing handle a lot better. So I take this thing out on back mountain roads that are super bumpy. That's kind of where I drive it. And in that use case, the IRS is going to be better, I think. If it's not, I'll change it back and sell the IRS, whatever. This is a factory 01 Bullitt seat. This is the passenger seat. I don't remember exactly what this one weighs, but the driver's seat is power and it's considerably heavier. When I swapped to those, I think I saved about 40 pounds total in the center of the car, which is great. Now this seat's not bad. As you can see, it's got some pretty big bolsters. Now one of the problems this seat has is that it's all leather. The issue with that is that you're gonna like slide around. Cloth is grippier, so I actually prefer a cloth seat when I'm cornering. Another issue these seats have is the foam used in them. From Ford, the foam's kind of soft. A lot of these seats in this era of Ford, from everything from Rangers to Crown Vics to Mustangs, they got worn out bolsters on the driver's side eventually. So you're sliding in and out right here. You're gonna wear this out and you're gonna wear this out. My driver's seat, which I'll put it on camera, actually has a little tear right here. That's very, very common. It's a thing you can run into with race seats as well if you're sliding in and out of them a bunch. So you just want to try not to do that. One thing that will keep the bolsters and the leather from tearing is not flexing as much. And so if they would have used firmer foam, the seats would have held up a little better. This seat is not bad. When I sit in this one, it feels firm. It holds me in place fairly well. The problem is I don't sit in this seat when I was driving the car. What was in the car was like I said, this is the passenger seat. What was in the car was the driver's seat. And the driver's seat, this bolster here is basically mashed flat, right? And this bolster here is got a tear in it and it doesn't feel near as firm. It didn't hold me in place very good. You go around corners, you know, the car's on not the stickiest tires, they're 320 tread wear. It was going around corners hard enough that I'm having to brace my knee against the door or brace my knee against the console over on the side or, you know, arm against the door and stuff, just to kind of stay in place. And that's detrimental to a car's handling in that it doesn't feel good. I've made some other videos about this. We can go back to this, whatever, but it's a big part of a car's handling to most people is how it feels to them, how confidence inspiring it is. Two cars can do 1G in a corner and, you know, they can both get through a track around the same amount of time. But if one doesn't feel as inspiring and it feels like the rear end's wiggling and different things and the car's doing weird stuff and the seat's not holding you in place, if it feels bad to you, then you're going to perceive it as not handling as well. With the factory seats, I'm already having to brace myself. And if I'm having to brace myself, I'm concentrating on things other than the driving. That's not good. So I bought some Corbo RRX seats, and that's what this video is about, a long-term review of those seats. I'm gonna put in some driving footage. Now, heads up, before we get to that driving footage, when I filmed this stuff, it was over a month ago. The doctor told me I was pre-diabetic, or just right on the doorstep. Change something, or you're gonna have to be on medicines for the rest of your life. I'm down 30 pounds in a little over a month. My beard's a lot shorter too. So in this other footage you're gonna see, yes, I'm still heavy. I got a belly, okay? But in this other footage you're gonna see, I was 30 pounds heavier and with a big beard. I look a little different. Don't let that be shocking. It's okay. the big reveal. Ooh, special, amazing. There they are. I picked the Corbo RRX because it had, well, for a few reasons. One, it had nice, big, sturdy bolsters. Another reason is it said on the website that it fit up to a 40-inch waist. At the time I bought them, I was, depending on the pants, but somewhere between a 42 and a 44-inch waist. And I was kind of concerned about that. I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna fit in these expensive seats I bought. But I fit in them pretty well because, I don't know, it was snug. I'll be honest, I feel better in these seats now that I've lost weight. The back actually feels like my shoulders can move around a little bit more now. I'm obviously still big. I'm a big guy. I've got another probably 100 pounds to lose to get to my goal. However, the seats fit really well, and it's honestly, it's not bad at all. I'm comfortable in these seats too. Now here's a fun thing I'm gonna show you. When I bought these seats, I paid extra for the lumbar support. There was a little bit in there, not much. So it's a little squeeze bladder. I squeeze it, I can instantly feel the lumbar coming up. A lot of race seats are really lacking in the lumbar areas. So these seats having a rear little air bladder in there that just gives you a little bit more support down low is super nice. Are these seats comfortable? There's less padding in them than a factory seat, and the padding that's there is very firm. It's not uncomfortable. And I think that's an important distinction to make because they're not uncomfortable, but they're not cushy. Okay, let's put it that way. I think that's a good way to describe it. They're not cushy seats. You feel the bumps in them. However, the car is set up as such with good dampers and everything that when you hit a bump, it's done. Now, my wife has wider hips than I do. Her hips don't fit in these bolsters. And that is a concern. You do want to think about what your lady is how she's gonna fit in the seats, because my wife doesn't like riding in this car now. And it's uncomfortable for her to do anything more than just a quick run around town. One, because the suspension's a lot stiffer than stock, and two, because she doesn't fit in the seats anymore. And that's a problem. So I might actually end up swapping the seat out for something I will show you in just a bit. While the camera is down here, I want you guys to look at these seats. Now you can run the seatbelt over the top here, but I chose to run it through this and it works fine for me. Now, if you wonder why I picked the red, I just thought it looked kind of cool with a dark blue car. But that's a style choice. There's a lot of different colors in these. One thing that I would possibly change, and I might have done to these seats at some point, is have cloth put in the center section. And that's mainly because the vinyl's a little hot on my back. That's one thing I don't like about them is the vinyl, you know, even with the air conditioner on, my back's gonna be sweaty after driving this. But these seats have been in this car for a couple thousand miles. I've driven the car hard. They are firm. They don't squeak or rattle. They're in absolutely great shape. Both seats with lumbar and brackets, it was about $1,400. Don't think that's that bad. It's a little bit of money, but it's not bad. Now right here, I'm on the Corbeau website looking at the seats I purchased. You can see they are $969 per pair. That's important, $969 per pair. If you come down here and you add lumbar support to driver and passenger, that makes it $1,165. I didn't do seat heaters. Get the brackets with them, about $1,400. Possibly, I maybe should have went with these that had the cloth inset in them, but I didn't really like this pattern for my car. My wife actually wants a set of seats with this pattern in her car. But yeah, for me, I wasn't really feeling that. That's, you know, the German thing. Some different reclining seats. Fixed back seats can be cheaper. However, these are still usable cars. My Mustangs, they're not cars that are, they're not track only cars, right? So I still want reclining seats. Someone can get in the back seat and different things. The Trailcat. This is another popular seat for Mustangs like these new edges because, as you can see, the bottom bolsters are a lot flatter. You still have the big side bolsters up here, but those aren't as constraining to your body as the big hip bolsters because your pelvis is like one solid thing that goes all the way across your body. You have big hip bolsters down here keeping your hips locked in. That feels a lot more constraining than these seats. So the Trailcats are more for Jeeps and stuff like that, off-roading type things, but they do work really good in these Mustangs too. So to finish this video off, these seats, these Corbo RRX seats, are the single biggest improvement I've made to this car. I'm not a huge fan of like drag racing. You know, I've got 265 horse. I think 320, 330 flywheel, or maybe even 330 wheel around there is a perfectly acceptable and adequate amount of horsepower. I go out and back roads and I do curvy cornering stuff. And honestly, a lower power car is a lot more fun in those situations because I can put my foot in it and leave my foot in it for longer. If I had 700 to the wheel, I come out of a corner and go, whoop, and it's done. I'm already doing 80. In a 45 mile an hour zone, right? And like, I'm only willing to push those speed limits so far. So being able to come out of a corner, get through the corner pretty quick, come out of it and run through a couple gears, it's really great. And these seats, like I said, single biggest improvement I've made to this car. I am covered in dog hair. Have I been covered in dog hair and stuff this whole video? Oh well, it's made now. They hold me in place. They give me more confidence to push the car harder. I absolutely love them. I highly recommend Corbeau Seats.